All right, where's the
All right, guys, we're live on the YouTube channel. Hello,
hello?
anybody that's there.
All right, let me go tweet about it.
Hello, my name is James Barber, and I'm testing my audio for this week's episode of Coaster Talk Podcast. Testing, testing, testing. This is me when I'm very quiet and not very excited. And this is me when Bob tells me that I'm wrong.
You're always wrong.
Oh, man.
99. Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
it's absolutely crazy.
Hello, my name is James Barber, and I'm testing my audio for this week's episode of Coaster Talk Podcast. Testing, testing, testing. This is me when I'm very quiet and not very excited. And this is me when Bob tells me that I'm wrong.
Why is the National Roller Coaster Museum, like, become so active all of a sudden on Twitter and stuff?
They're trying to get their name out there.
Yeah, I wonder if there actually is stuff coming up. Like if they're actually
Like a
getting
grand opening.
Yeah, I hope they're getting close to it.
Yeah, I do too.
Guess I can say hello everyone in the chat.
Hello, everyone.
Phoenix will assault you.
Yeah, because you got punched in the balls.
Oh my god, yeah. I haven't watched that video. That did hurt. It's amazing though. No, we're not gonna have a podcast next week. And actually there won't be a live stream for the one after that either. Which means you might actually have to download the actual podcast episode, Pam.
If you want to listen, Pam, that's what I got to do.
Because we said so. I mean, why? That's just the way we're doing it.
It's our show, Pam.
I don't see your video up in here.
Look at the square, Pam. Look at the square.
Hey, Penguin.
That sounds like a derogatory term.
Hey, Penguin.
Hey,
Hey,
penguin.
Proper.
Hey, you penguin. What's going on?
Can we use your real name, Penguin? Do you mind if we use your real name here?
He's told me before he doesn't mind.
Oh, okay. Well, I asked, so he will wait for him to say.
Watch him be
That
like,
way
oh
we
my
have.
god, if you use my real name, I'm going to kill you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like, no. Shut up, James. You're wrong. I never told you that.
You made that up.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You sent me this link and I never actually clicked on it.
I would love to operate a drop tower. especially one that you get to do the countdown for, like Drop Zone at King's Dominion. That'd be pretty fun.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. I don't
10,
know. Like, I like
9,
the anticipation.
8, 7, and then just drop them.
No, I'd rather operate a launch coaster.
I knew
I'm
you'd
doing
say that.
okay. I'm better. I think I'm over the COVID. Thank God.
I'm fine too, by the way. I'm just kidding.
You didn't have COVID though, so it doesn't matter. Hope you don't get COVID. Oh my God.
Well, some people get it and it's like they don't even have it, so hopefully if I got it, it would. All right, Pam.
No one cares. What?
I can't tell. Is she talking about me or you?
I don't know.
Probably me. She would never be rude to you, Bob.
Yes, she would.
Yeah, I told you. And then Pam's coming out pretty ferocious.
Dude, she was before you logged on last night, playing games. Like, she was like actually like kicking ass, and it was like, yeah, it was virtual Pam. It was so weird. It was like, this is not Pam. Holy crap.
She wasn't doing like the first grader jokes.
It was so.
That's how I
so,
can always tell
so
Pam
bizarre.
if it seems like it would be appropriate to give first graders. Then I know it's Pam.
Totally. Just realize. You meant realize. I was like, you just released Thanksgiving? Wait, what? Is that the name of your
Thanksgiving was in my
turkey, or,
hands, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it be free. Fly, Thanksgiving, fly. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. My mind has been sharpened by the virtual world. I will never change. I will never be altered like I once was.
Hey, check the Discord chat.
No. I'm just kidding.
No, oh, I thought that I didn't know if you were answering the question or.
It's kind of difficult for me too, because if I do it, then your face is gonna be gone for a second.
Wait, what?
Let me do something real quick.
Huh? I'm confused.
Shh. Don't talk to me. Wait. Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I will, yeah.
Okay. What? Oh, I know. Okay. I can. Now I understand what was going on.
Yeah.
See, I was like, I thought you were talking about the action of what I suggested, and I'm like, how does going to a web browser affect my? Now I get what you were struggling with.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on for Thanksgiving. Everything's so complicated.
All right, wait a second. We got to start, and I have to be gone here. Me and Timmy and Ian are gonna go shopping after this because we're leaving tomorrow for the trip. So we're gonna go to the store and get some food. So I said I'd be done at like 10 or 10:30. That's probably not gonna happen. So let's make it as close to that as possible. Hey, well, the store closes at like 12, so I don't have much time after that. So
What store?
Kroger.
Yeah. Just tell them what you want. Tell them to buy crap.
Tell them to buy crap.
Tell them to buy crap.
A big pile of feces. I want that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Are you tested out? You ready? You need to test.
Oh God, no! I need to do that Audacity crap.
I will not be. Well, I will be doing something for Thanksgiving. I'll be going to Fredericksburg, Virginia, for a family gathering.
I'm moving stuff around here. It's probably gonna confuse me. Put Audacity on a different window. This is a test of my. Whoa! Wait, what? Oh, okay. That's the right mic, right? Something just seems weird.
Your face?
That's got to be it, right? Okay, I don't know. The mic sensitivity just seems really weird. Why? No, something's. Something is not right. There's all kinds of background noise coming into Audacity. I don't understand. I don't understand, man.
Are you ready?
No, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. Dude, something really weird's going on. I don't know what, and I don't know why, and I don't know how.
I don't know who. I don't know where. I
Yeah.
don't know then. But I know one thing. I'm coming
So
after
it's
you.
really weird. I'm clipping it. Oh, I'm I'm an idiot. Hold on a second. Testing. No, that's not it. I don't understand. Like my waveform is like really small, but yet it seems like my audio is the same. Test. Yeah, I'm clipping. Ah. I need to adjust my audio. You might have to adjust the live stream. Testing. Testing. Why is that so loud? Testing. Ta testing. I don't know, man. This is bizarre. Really bizarre. Testing. All right. I think this will work. I might have to adjust the clip or why? I don't understand why it's so weird. Everything just seems really different. All right. I need to talk, so I'm going to explain to Cam. So the problem that I have is there's still members of my family that still have COVID. Um, namely my grandfather and one of my cousins. Um, So the problem is we always go to like my grandfather's house or my grandmother and grandfather's house, but like that can't happen. Um, the backup is my aunt and uncle, but they're doing something. So like we have no idea what we're doing. We don't know like like we have no idea what we're gonna do. And then there's also like Pennsylvania put into all these guidelines now, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go to Pennsylvania. I don't know. There's just a whole ball of
Balls.
a whole
All right.
can of it's balls, yeah, just balls. All right, so that looked. I mean, my audio seemed okay. I just gotta. I think I gotta adjust the where I clip when I run the Nyquist um,
All
filter.
right.
I might have to send you a couple different versions of the audio. But all right,
You ready?
let me take a drink first. All right, let's start this. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2.
Whether you call yourself an adrenaline junkie, a thrill ride fanatic, or just a plain roller coaster enthusiast, this is Coaster Talk Podcast, and you're listening to your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber,
And I'm Bob Mertz.
and you're listening to episode number 99 of the show. It is November 22nd, 2020. Bob, I don't know how long I waited to say 99.
This is
99.
the last time we will have a double-digit show.
Oh, that's kind of crazy. It's been quite a while of doing this, the double digits. I mean, this is the double digits are when Bob came along. It's kind of like an end of an era a little bit and on to the future of the show.
Yeah, it's. I was trying to think of that. What was the first episode that I was on?
I think it was in the 30s or 40s. Somewhere around there is when you first came on.
I can't believe it was that far back.
Yeah.
That's That's just insane.
I know, it feels like it was so long ago, but at the same time it feels kind of like it wasn't. It's just a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's weird because it feels like it's forever, but then we like talk about something and we're like, oh yeah, we just talked about that like last year.
yeah, exactly.
It's weird. Everything just kind of blends together. It seems.
Yeah, because we do this so much every week. It's almost like every week just kind of feels like, oh, that was just last week. Oh wait, no, that was actually like a month ago or 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, it blends in with one another for sure. Something that we've talked about quite a bit on the show seems to be a reoccurring theme, and I think we kind of called this a little bit a few weeks back. I don't even know if I want to say it. It might have been a month ago. It might have been even further back. I'm not sure. We talked about RMC coming in and redoing Lightning Rod, and I named that episode comedically "Don't RMC that RMC." And now that actual joke became an actual like reality because that's what's happening. Ace Southeast had an event at Dollywood like a week ago, and the actual I don't know. I think it was like Lloyd was one of their.
Well, no. So it was actually the who's the general manager? I can't think of his name.
I can't either. That's why.
Lloyd was it was a reference to something. It was the character he played in like a Hallmark movie or something, or a Dollywood movie. Or I don't know, something. It was a reference to something. It was kind of like a joke.
Maybe A Coat of Many Colors. That was a Dolly Parton movie about her childhood. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. But yeah, I can't.
I don't know.
Can't think.
Just throwing things
I
out there.
can't think of his actual name.
I can't honestly
he
either.
was from the park. Like I think the general manager. I'm pretty sure it was the general manager, but I can't think of his name. I wanted to Pete something, but I
don't know how I forgot this either because I talked about this like a few weeks back.
You're usually the one that knows all the people.
I'm the people person.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But during a Q&A session,
that's Dreammore. I don't
regardless,
know.
during a Q&A session with this this individual, we'll just say. um,
We'll say Lloyd. Why not?
uh, yeah, Lloyd. Lightning Rod was stated to be becoming a hybrid version of itself with topper track and iBox track intermixing. For 2021, this move will make the coaster what they stated much more reliable, and it will improve maintenance issues going forward. The layout's going to remain the same with no changes. So a lot of people were speculating, oh, maybe they'll remove a bank turn, maybe they'll remove the ending helix, maybe they'll make the first, like the pre-lift section different. Maybe they'll alter that in some fashion so that the launch itself is better, but there are going to be no layout changes. So this is just a retracking, which it's interesting because I'm a little lost on how they're going to be mixing iBox and topper track into one. I'm not sure
Well,
if they're...
so this is the thing. That wasn't I'm not actually sure of this, but does the topper track and iBox have different dimensions? Like, do they have to have a different train setup, or are they the same? Can the same trains run on?
I think the exact same trains can run on both. I don't think there's any difference in...
That's what I was thinking, but then I saw some people, people that I'm sure have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, but they might. So I never want to just just say it's complete bullcrap. But yeah, I saw some references to somebody saying, well, like, how are they going to do the track? They're going to have to they're going to have to put new trains on it. And I'm like, well, if you're doing both, then no, it doesn't work that way. I don't know. There's one thing that like I have to wonder if like RMC came out with this like this is a hybrid, despite the fact that they like did not invent the hybrid. I mean, there's been many hybrid coasters of what they call hybrid, where it uses either wood structure, steel track, or vice versa. But RMC was like, oh, we've invented this new thing called the hybrid, which really isn't anything new. I wonder if they're kicking themselves though, because now they've actually created a hybrid track. The real this is actually a hybrid track. If they're doing what they're saying here, where it's going to be pieces, some of it's going to be wood, some of it's going to be steel, like that is literally hybrid. That's a hybrid coaster.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean,
so like
an interesting debate we had
a few weeks, like using that term.
A few weeks back, we talked about possibly even the topper track being considered hybrid. So their terms are really getting weird and not really accurate. It's kind of a strange...
I mean, yeah, there's that. The whole topper track, forget that whole topper track. That I actually don't even want to go to that rabbit hole. As much as I love rabbit holes, no, I don't really want to talk.
Well, the thing is, I think they're going to discontinue the sale of the topper track. It doesn't seem like anybody's purchasing them anymore. It seems like everyone's doing the Iron Horse.
That, but it's still an official product on their website, and apparently Schilke has actually said, like, we'll do it, but nobody wants it.
That's the thing, yeah, is that I don't think it's going to, even if they do have it for sale as an option, it doesn't seem like anybody's really... It doesn't seem like it's a popular product anymore, like it was when it first was announced. Everyone was like, oh, everyone's going to buy this topper track. It's awesome. It can change the way wooden coasters are made and how they're able to run. And it doesn't seem like it had the success that it was intending to have. So, I mean...
No, I don't. Yeah. You might as well not even bother. Like, you go iBox or go wood. I mean,
exactly.
The thing, like the whole hybrid, like how do we? This turns everything on its head. Even from like not just from enthusiasts, but from like industry. Like, how do you define this? What is this track? Like, is this a wooden coaster or is this a steel coaster? I mean, even where there's the we'll say the quote hybrid unquote, we still say it's either a steel coaster or a wood coaster. Now we have something, I mean, GCI just did it with White Lightning, where it literally is both. There is literally steel track and wood track.
Yeah.
That should be what's called a hybrid. That is actually a hybrid coaster.
Yeah.
So like how do we define that?
That's what I want to... I'm curious to see what RMC's actually doing. Are they going to do like a mix of oh, we're just retracking certain sections, so some of the topper track's going to stay and some of the Iron Horse is going to come in.
No, that's what they said. They said it was a mix of
I was wondering.
the two
Okay,
tracks out.
okay, that so they're not completely retracking Lightning Rod then, so it's going to be like a partial, almost then.
Yeah, let me.
Because I was under the
now I'm
impression that
like,
they were actually just going to take off the topper track completely and then come in and do some new
no,
track work as
the
well.
the East Southeast Post says Lightning will become a hybrid version
Yeah,
of
the
topper
topper track
track
and
and
iBox track.
iBox track.
Yes, but I was just under the impression that they were going to first strip it of the topper track and then maybe put some more back in. But I guess they might just leave the topper track that isn't affecting the ride and then just put Iron Horse where it is. But I was also thinking, like, the launch, is that going to be altered with this? How do they retrack it and not mess with the launch at all? I don't know.
You know,
It's
this
just
is
really
this is something that's
interesting.
kind of been bugging me. I don't think well, there is no evidence to indicate that there is actually still a problem with the launch. I think that they've ironed all of those issues out. Now, I could be wrong. This is I don't know this for sure. What I'm saying is there's like people are like, oh no, it's definitely the launch, but there's nothing that indicates that. The people that argue that generally say, oh well, it's a launch issue because I've seen it roll back. But just because it rolls back doesn't mean that's a problem with a launch any more than a train stuck on a chain lift hill, stopped on the lift hill. That doesn't mean the chain broke. You know, it's all about safety systems. If the ride goes into a launch sequence and starts up and detects something wrong, it's going to shut down. And when it shuts down, the train is going to roll backwards. That doesn't mean that there's an issue with the launch. I did see some people talking about there being an issue with the sensor at the bottom of the launch hill. So it kind of would make sense to me, and this is speculation on my part. I want to be upfront about that.
Purely
But
speculation.
if you have a structural issue and you have a sensor mounted on that structure, as soon as the train hits it, it's possible that it could shift or move. And if that sensor moves enough, it could lose sight of the train, and all of a sudden the computer goes, I don't know where the train's at, shut down. So what people are seeing as an issue with a launch is, I think it's highly likely that that's more related to a sensor issue and possibly even the structure issue itself. I don't know if that has to do with the track. I mean, that, you know, it's hard to say. It may have something to do with it. But like there's no indication that there's still an issue with the launch system. I don't think that there's any indication of that at all. I'm not saying that there definitely isn't, but there just doesn't seem to be any indication of that. Plus, maybe you know or can correct me, but didn't Armacy make an announcement of another launched coaster somewhere that they are building?
No.
They were working on a project somewhere. I don't think it was like an official launch, but there was something that they were working on with velocity magnets again.
I never heard of that. If that is something that's been announced or teased or anything, I'm not aware of it at all.
I don't think it was really an official announcement. It was kind of like I believe it was like an article that, you know, was like, oh, we're looking into this, like doing this other project, like that kind of thing. But I don't like it. Doesn't, to me, that I think all of those issues, the majority of those issues are ironed out.
All I know is that when I go to Dollywood, or when I went to Dollywood this past year, I was talking with an employee and we were like, why is Lightning Rod was down the entire day we were there, and we're like, what's going on? And he said it was launch issues. He was a ride up for Lightning Rod. He was working, I think, at Dragonflyer though, when we actually got to talk with him, because they had what they do is when Lightning Rod's down, they just send all the ride ops to different locations to work.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, it's the launch again. I don't know if
Well,
that's accurate. I
but
don't
see,
know if
here's the other thing about that. I mean, the whole mindset that I had just said, and a ride op could see that too. I mean, from a ride op's point of view, the ride just shut down and the train rolled back. Some ride ops know more than others, and it's hard. It's really hard to say.
but I feel like
I don't know
you wouldn't say that with
like
complete certainty. Oh, it's the launch again, unless you had some indication. You wouldn't just be like, "Oh, it's the launch again." Especially if you like work the ride and you see what's going on. I mean, normally what happens with ride outs is when rides go down, the maintenance guys come and they say what's going on, what's happening, and then they kind of explain normally. I mean,
yeah.
every ride I've seen shut down, at least that's what the procedures have been. So I feel like there'd
Well,
be some
here's
indication
here's
to,
another
to,
thing
to just make that.
too.
I don't think that's just an assumption on his part. I feel like,
Well, no, but here's another thing though. Let's say this is a structural issue, which all the rumors seem to point to there being big time structure issues.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I've heard.
if you're a ride op and somebody asks you a question, are you going to respond and say like, no, it's falling down? Or are you going to just say, no, it's a launch?
Well, I will
Like,
say that this
what?
ride up in particular was an enthusiast that I know via like social media. So it wasn't just some random guy I ride up.
That could be more. But at the same point, at the same time, like it's easier to say something. Which I mean, there's no doubt there were serious issues with the launch at in the beginning. I mean, no doubt they knew up front that was going to happen because it was a completely new technology that they're using. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
But I mean, at the same time,
it could be whatever.
it's the exact same thing that's been like it launches like halfway up the launch, just like it did in the very beginning, and then it rolls back right into the station. That's exactly what was happening
Yeah,
in
but
2017 and 2016 when.
I mean, all that really indicates is it's tripping a safety. The system's shutting down. So, whether it's something happening with the launch or something happening somewhere else, or the computer losing the train or a sensor tripping, all of these things are kind of going to look the same way. I mean that's my thinking. And again, I don't know. This could still be launch issues, but if this is still launch issues, what's the track got to do with any of that?
Yeah, that's my only
I
real
mean, if
hesitation to
they're
say
just going
that.
to put
Yeah.
iBox, right? If they're just going to put iBox
Yeah.
on the launch, that's a different story. But that doesn't sound at all
Yeah.
like what's happening here.
And I mean, in a way, I'm
And
just playing kind of devil's
trains
advocate. I'm trying to
No,
understand.
I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah,
I
this is
mean,
all
that
just
could be
speculation
absolutely
talk,
right.
kind of.
But like that just doesn't like, oh, well, the launch doesn't work, so we're gonna replace track that's nowhere near the launch. Like that doesn't, that lends more of an issue of sensors.
I believe they are
something's
retracking. Where they, I believe the first that launch section, the first hill, if you want to call it that, is being retracked as well.
It may be. I mean, I would think they probably would. But I mean, they have cranes. There's a crane located further down, and they're clearing trees further back. So they're obviously, replacing it other places.
I think they're doing an extensive amount. I think it's going to be a majority being retracted to Iron Horse, which is interesting.
I don't know.
It's so interesting because the thing about this is now so many people have this as their favorite wooden coaster, their favorite. Like this is no longer that.
Right. Exactly.
So people's rankings are going to be completely out of whack now.
Wooden launch coaster. Well,
do you count it as two credits? That's also a thing. I mean, it is a new experience. It's a new ride coming, to Dollywood.
I don't know. I don't know how to argue this. Like, it's like, I don't know what to do.
You can totally tell that we're entering a new era of roller coasters, for sure.
Dwayne of RCDB, it's all on his shoulders. Like that. It's as stupid as that sounds. That's really gonna be like what this boils down to.
Yes.
People are gonna follow what RCDB starts saying, and I don't know what RCDB is gonna do. I have to think that they're probably going, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you now actually put as track type, steel, wood, and hybrid.
Yeah,
Because
this
the
is yes. This is
hybrid on RCDE is a category. It's not a track type. But is this the point where you actually have to add a new track type of hybrid?
yes, and I'm sure that's a complex decision that they're currently in the
Or we'll
process
call
of
it
making.
Studin. There's a Studin track. Or no. Yeah. Studin's about the only thing I can come up with, and that sounds pretty dumb. But
Wheel.
here's another interesting thing about this. And this has kind of been in the back of my mind for a while about RMCs. But this really puts it into perspective. You've got like Six Flags basically kicked RMC out of the out of the gate because of the like, oh wait, we don't have to maintain it as much. Like this is awesome. Like it's a hybrid. Like, but is anybody stopping to think like this is still a wooden structure? Like you still have to take care of that wooden structure.
Yeah.
Like you think of it in terms of Six Flags and the way they've been, like they've let wooden coasters just kind of deteriorate, and that makes the ride rough. But like, are we going to get to a point like now when they neglect them, the ride's not going to get rough, so people aren't going to complain about it. It's just going to fall over one day. Like what? How? I mean, has anybody stopped to like really think about this? I don't know. And here you are, like Lightning Rod seems to have structural issues as it is, and they're like, oh well, we're going to put some steel track on it. Like, I don't know. Does that I don't know. It's
logically.
Weird.
I mean, there's safety protocols that they have to follow, so it's not just going to fall over one day. But I know what you're. I know what you're
like
getting at.
Like the whole point is we don't want to maintain this as much. Like
yes,
obviously
but
you have to.
They're going to have safety
more than you have to.
People like from the safety department come in and say this thing is falling apart.
Yeah, but in a lot of states that's a joke. I mean, they don't.
Yes, but not to the extent that there's going to be a ride rotting, and they're just going to be like, yeah, that's fine. And I mean, no park would do that either. No maintenance team for a park would go, oh yeah, the ride's falling. Like it's just
when on wooden coasters you have flexing, and you have to actually like tighten, replace bolts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very frequent. And that's the thing. Like if the whole point is like, let's make this a steel track so we don't have to like do all of this stuff that we have to do on wooden coasters, like it's just like in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, it's almost like you look at a wooden coaster and when it starts getting rough now, you're like, okay, like we need to do
I know
something.
like Cedar Fair, for example, was talking about how I think they already but put some newer wood on Twisted Timbers already. I remember someone saying that to me, that they had already replaced, like, not a lot, but a couple pieces of wood on Twisted Timber. So I think they're going to be up to date with that. I think they're going to be up to expectations on.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Cedar Fair. I'm a little more worried about the Six Flags side of things.
I don't know. I don't foresee that, but I understand that that's not invalid concern.
It's just one of those things, like everybody's like on this, we're not doing that much, but like as this wood starts getting aged, like are they gonna have to be maintaining this more? And are we still gonna hit that point where Six Flags is like, oh, this is too much of a headache, like let's just get rid of it, and RMC hybrids are going to be disappearing just for the same reason that wooden coasters themselves started disappearing.
I don't know.
I mean, we're at least a decade, probably two, away from that happening, but it's potentially there. It's just
potential.
One of those things.
I don't know how much potential is there for it, but there is potential. I can concur, I think, with that a little bit.
We'll find out in a decade or two.
And if we're still doing the show in 20 years, we'll bring that back up.
I don't even want to think of oh my God, I'll be 60.
Oh, I'll be 37. I'll be your age. Oh man.
All
right. Well,
about this. Let's move on to
for the time being, though, I'm 17, and technically speaking, To get
and
into
that means you
Kennywood, I
can't
wouldn't
go
be
to
allowed to get
Kennywood.
into a park. I wouldn't be able to get in their park right now at my
Well,
current
you
age.
can before 4 p.m.
Before, yeah, woohoo! We all know that the true fun
This is
doesn't happen at theme parks until night.
this yeah, this is interesting. So
Ah,
the announcement came that Kennywood now is going for starting in 2021. Anybody under the age of 18, this means 17 and under, um, they'll need to have a chaperone in the park that is 21 or older for all of Phantom Fright Nights and the holiday, I forget what they call it,
holiday lights.
holiday lights, and every day in the normal operating season after 4 p.m. Um, I get where they're coming from, but
Ah,
Kennywood, or I'm gonna probably say Palace, just isn't they're using their brain anymore. They just like I
I mean,
I don't.
do they not?
This is like nobody's gonna go to their park because I mean Pittsburgh is not going to visit Kennywood because they are going to be absolutely pissed about the removal of the 4 rides. And now you've got like
The kids that
all
would
of the
go, yeah.
teenagers are like, yeah, the
All the teens that
teenagers are
don't
like,
care
oh well,
about it
it's
as
good
much.
to go hang out. Right, right. The ones that are like, we don't really care about the history because we weren't around for the history. Like what Kennywood's like, oh, you actually still want to come? No, no, can't do that.
I mean, and it's
I,
so
I
it's so ageist, I think, because it's just not. It's not. It's just like when the teacher scorns the entire class for something, and it's like, man, it was that one dude over there. Why am I getting in trouble for that one? It's
yeah.
just not cool to
there-
like
So I
one
here's
one
here's the
one
thing.
one group of kids that goes to Kennywood and causes some mischief and causes a fight or something should not therefore like I'm sure there's adults that have caused fights too. So we're gonna ban it. Like it just I don't feel like that's a fair assertion to
I
and
completely
conclusion to
agree
come
with
to.
you. At the same time, though, I don't think they are completely out of line. They're just going way, way too far overboard.
I feel like the age should be lowered.
Personally, well, no, because no, I get the 18. There's a legal responsibility issue too, and I think that becomes a bigger part of it.
It should be like
Um,
PG-13, PG-13 movies.
yeah, but you don't have that's completely
At
different.
the age of 16, we're
Um,
allowed to drive. Kids about our age are allowed to drive. And if you, I mean, it's just
in some states, not in all states.
well, most states, 16 is the age. Around 16 is where you're allowed to drive. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. But the fact that you can drive, but you can't get into a theme park, that just doesn't correlate well with me at all. I mean, and I don't know. I just feel like that's. I just don't think it's
There's
fair and just at all because it's just assuming that every child and every not even child. I don't even consider kids under the age of 18. I feel like that's still teens, adolescents. Under that age of 18, that doesn't necessarily that the age does not correlate to maturity. So I just think it's a
n-
false
not
narrative.
necessarily, but
I know for
there
a
is a
fact
there's a
many,
level.
many, many, many children that are more mature than many, many, many adults. And it's kind of a broad, false.
No, no, no,
I know.
no.
I know so many.
I know what you're saying, but no, that's not the case. There's a lot of immature adults, um, but yeah. Regardless, I think
No,
this is too far overboard. I personally think that like I get the Phantom Fright Nights thing, maybe that, uh, and I also kind of understand the holiday lights thing as well. And the only reason for that is because of the kid. That's more of a time that families bring smaller kids. The everyday thing is just like I don't understand that at all. But here's my theory.
Of course.
As much as I absolutely despise Kennywood at this moment, um, it's almost as if King's Dominion paid Kennywood off, because I can't hate King's Dominion right now, because like I, I don't hate King's Dominion, but you know what I'm saying. Like I can't be angry at anybody else right now but Kennywood because of this, like, getting rid of the kangaroo. It's just ridiculous. But
Yeah, it is.
in this case, I think what's happening here is we're looking at a legalese thing that's taking place. So if you read the actual page where this is at, it says that, first of all, the chaperone does not at any time have to be with the teen. They just have to be in the park. So that's one point. It's not like, oh, the parent has to, like, put their 16-year-old on a leash. That's not the case. But the other thing is they can enter the park by themselves before 4 p.m. It's written as though it is expected that they will have a chaperone that comes in after 4 p.m. if they're
Yeah.
still there. But the way this is all written is this is a CIA situation that I don't think is really going to be enforced. I don't think this is going to be like a heavy-handed, like, we need to see everybody's ID. This is something this is like they're just they're filing this away. And if a problem occurs, they have a little more legal basis to take action against those teens and the parents that would cause problems.
And I have a bit of a curiosity to this decision as well. How will they know that you're a minor? Because I will state that I have been to movie theaters before. Like, actually, last year, I'll just give an example. I went to go see the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is an R-rated film. And my friend, who's much smaller than me, he looks like he's a teen, he looks young, was like, all right, I'll have one ticket. And he's like, you need an adult. It's an R-rated movie. He's like, do you have an adult with you? And then I walked up and they go, oh, okay, we got you. So technically speaking, I was 16 years old, but I looked like I was, I'm like 5'11",
Right.
I'm tall.
And that's the thing.
I look like an adult.
We're not talking about the level of carding somebody to buy cigarettes or alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't going to be, I don't foresee them checking every single ID that comes through the gate. This is going to be something that they can reserve. And I mean, in some cases, I mean, there's some prejudgment here, I will admit, but in many cases, you can actually watch people coming into the park and watch their attitude and kind of go, this is going to be a problem. And that's where you might say, hey, how old are you? Oh, I'm 18. Oh, can I see your ID? I don't have my driver's license. Like, that's going to be the situation where it's going to be one of those things that, can just, can help deter some certain
And there's such an
things.
easy
I
loophole.
think that's all this is.
We love to call what parents do here, like using theme parks as daycares, right? There's an easy loophole here too. The parent walks in with the child, and then they turn around and exit as soon as they enter the park. So it's like they can. That's literally like what you do at a daycare. You walk in, you check them in, and then you leave. So,
but they need a ticket.
True. That is. Well, I mean, I'm thinking like more on like season pass holders type deal. But sure, if you have a ticket.
But see, that I think that's the whole point of this is. This is one of those things that I don't think is going to be like this act. People are like, oh my God, they're going to do all this upon it. No, I don't think much is going to change here. I just think this is something that they're going to put in their policy to have just in case they need
it. That seems more likely. I believe as well. That I would agree with that. Some exciting news out of Kings Island, though, a ride that many don't like. I feel like this has become somewhat of a popular attraction to kind of not hate on, because it's still a historically important ride. A lot of people appreciate its historical significance, but a lot of people dislike this ride and will state that it's not one of their favorites at Kings Island. Racer at Kings Island is now getting some retracking done from the first drop to the fourth hill on both sides of the ride. Over 500 feet of track is going to be, which is mostly original, which is impressive, going to be completely replaced over this off season.
Yeah, this coaster used to be a lot better. I remember going to Kings Island as a teenager, and I loved this ride. You got so much more airtime than you get now. Maybe retracking will help. I'll tell you this: like when I was there in 2018, I rode it and it hurt. It's probably the first time that I was on a wooden coaster that I actually got off. I was riding with my niece. My niece was like, "Oh, that was great," and I was like, she was like, "I want to ride again." I'm like, "I'll walk with you, but I'm not riding." Like that was the first time that I was like, "I'm not." No, that I actually was in pain from a wooden coaster. Like I've never experienced that before. It needs work, but the point that really hurt me was after that point. So it doesn't sound like they're really fixing the problem that I experienced.
Yeah, I thought it was like the turnaround that was the most painful, and then like the trip back that was like the worst. The trip out
Yeah,
wasn't too
trip
bad.
back is right, exactly. It's the trip back that really, really killed me. And it is specific, like different parts of the train are very different. Because I rode it once and I was like, it was decent. The second time I rode it was when it just like jarred me so bad. I like, oh, it hurt real bad. So I don't know. I mean, I love seeing track work. I hate that this is a marketing thing though. Like this should just be what you do. Like what? Oh my God, people, just do the maintenance. Like don't act like you're doing us a favor. Like this is what you should be doing. Like it just bugs me. It's like this big ordeal. Like, oh, we're gonna fix the ride that's been broke. Like no, you should not let it break
That's
in the
your
first place.
responsibility, yeah. Most likely, though, we will see some Racer original wood for sale for about $500 on the Kings Island website here soon.
More than like, Kings Island's starting to get ridiculous with some of this stuff. Like, I love Kings Island. It is still my favorite Cedar Fair park, but come on, like this, like some of this stuff is like, I don't know. I think it's the marketing manager that just kind of does some weird stuff sometimes that I don't know. Other than that, though, I still like Kings Island.
All right, well,
and hopefully they fix this.
Hopefully they do. Good marketing is what Disney is utilizing right now for their new Cosmic Rewind coaster. They just uploaded a new video, and they've released some concept art as well for the new attraction coming to Epcot. I think next year, 2021 is that when it's coming?
No, I think
2022.
RCDB says likely 2022.
All right, 2022. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not up to my Disney standards, guys. But yes, this is going to be the Vekoma Omni Coaster. It's the first of its kind. It's programmable, where it will actually rotate while it's in motion and actually kind of like stop for different scenes mid-rotation, and you'll be able to view the scene and feel like you're in the actual motion of whatever it is you're going to be doing. I'm sure Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll be flying around space. You'll be going to different planets, fighting different people, doing different adventures in the universe.
And there's some interesting pieces of track in some of the pictures that have come out that are like, there's sections where you're like really like you're on your side for a long period of time. And the speculation is basically like it's almost like that in simulators, like if it's going to simulate acceleration, it just kind of leans forward. Back. So there's a lot of speculation that some of the positioning of the ride is actually going to be part of a simulated experience where you feel like something else is happening. Then, I mean, this is what Disney's been really good at that. I mean, you look at Space Mountain, like that is what Space Mountain feels like. It's going a lot faster than everyone thinks of going. And it seems like this may be like taking it to another
Uh-huh.
level. And the rotation is almost like a Sally Dark ride, the way it spins in positions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It looks really great. So I know I rag on Disney quite a bit, but I'm actually quite impressed with this, and I'm kind of excited for this ride.
Yeah, and new Vekoma, man.
Yes, new Vekoma.
We need more Vekoma stuff because it looks really good.
Oh yeah, it
It looks
does.
like they have some
I've
really
heard
good
they're like
stuff
booked
coming.
up though. I've heard Vekoma's like pretty solidly booked, and that's why the U.S. isn't getting any. Like they've
There's
literally,
probably a good reason.
yeah. All right, well, Vekoma's booked up. Premier Rides looks like they might be booked up as well. They're talking on Twitter, creating some more noise with some marketing. They just posted a tweet a couple days ago with new trains most likely in this image, and they captioned this
Yeah,
post.
we don't know for sure, but
It's pretty likely to be trains, if not maybe small pieces of track. I don't.
maybe it could be a Raptor.
Could be, Bob. Could be. And they
I mean,
captioned the
nobody
post.
knew that the Raptor at Universal was a Raptor. You couldn't tell because it was wrapped up,
Yeah,
man.
it was all wrapped up. You couldn't tell. You couldn't even see the outline of it. They captioned this post though. Who doesn't love a good mystery? And the reason I believe this is to be, or the reason I believe this to be a new ride, other than a lot of people are going, oh, it's the trains for Icebreaker. Oh, it's they're refurbishing a ride somewhere else. What? Unless this maybe could be. I'm thinking now maybe like Riddler's Revenge. I think they were doing the work on that, so this could be like the trains for that possibly. And that would kind of make sense because Mystery, Riddler's Revenge is like they have the magnifying glass. That's
yeah.
a
Here's
Riddler
the
thing.
thing.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. Whenever all this stuff started happening with Lightning Rod, there was talk about how Premiere was doing something with Dollywood, and everybody was like, "Oh, Dollywood's going to have Premiere come in and redo the launch on Lightning Rod because they're fed up with RMC." Which I thought that was complete bullcrap. But I think that you have the possibility that Premiere is doing something with Dollywood. And I have this feeling that this is something to do with Dollywood. Why not maybe new trains for Mystery Mine?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just.
I mean, I'm
speculation.
not gonna say I'm completely against that concept. I just don't think that this is what that is. These trains aren't. Well, based on what we see in this image, the trains on Lightning Rod on Mystery Mine are wider and they're a lot. Yeah, they're taller. These look very small and compact, like 2-seater trains here. I don't think we're seeing. I don't see.
I don't know.
These don't look like those kind of trains to me. To like the Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster trains by any means.
See, you are thinking that the picture is on.
Why do people? I'm in the middle of a show and they just walk in my room and start talking. Oh man, crazy people. All right.
Where are we going?
We're going to your mom's house.
All right, I'm going to cut the last thing I said and I'll start saying it again.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
3.
We do need to somewhat speed this up. Not like you're bad or anything.
I'll try it. Like, holy cow. It's only 10 o'clock. Like,
well, right. I'm not saying
3. I know, but like, when I have to go, you're like, whatever.
Oh my! When you have to go, it's like I'm tired. I never do this.
We always still end up being at midnight.
I know, and I'd rather it not be midnight tonight.
Right, but when I would rather, we still end up being midnight.
Hey, half the time it's not my fault though. So, you okay.
3.
All right.
3, 2. So you're kind of thinking that these trains are positioned on their side, and I'm not completely sure about that. I mean, we don't even really know that they are trains, to be honest. But I don't know. It looks like there's points at the top, but the bottom looks almost flat. So I don't know. This is kind of
If
like
they're not
maybe
on their
they're.
side, then these are the single weirdest shaped trains ever.
I don't know. I'm gonna go like this is mostly just being pulled out of my butt, but I'm just gonna say like, oh no, these are new trains for Mystery Mine.
All right,
I have
well, that's fair. I think we're looking at Riddler's Revenge more. I think about it. The only reason I would think it's a new coaster as well, it's either Mystery Mine or not Mystery Mine. It's either Riddler's Revenge or a new coaster, in my opinion, because they're hiding this. This is something that they don't want the public to see. If this was something simple like a refurb or something of that nature, I think we would see them just show us a picture of it, or they'd have the park. It wouldn't be that big of a marketing point. But I think this has to be something big for them to post about it and to also make sure that it's hidden and we can't see exactly what is going on. It isn't like the Raptor. This is the Raptor Saran
it,
Wrap at
it
all.
doesn't have to be big for them to market though. Like if this
I
is
mean, there's
just
no really
marketing.
point
Like,
in doing
"Oh,
that though.
because look what's happening. It doesn't matter what that is. We're talking about Premiere right now, so
Yes, but I think
mission
if
accomplished.
if it was just if it was just a picture of something we already knew, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right, but we don't know the Mystery Mine's being redone.
All right. Okay. Oh man. Well, talking about strategic and weird marketing, Alabama Splash
Yeah.
Adventures up to something.
And we're gonna find out Christmas morning.
Yeah, that's a weird. It's a weird strategy there. I don't know how many people are going to be on Instagram or on Alabama Splash Adventures page, to say the very least, on Christmas morning.
I don't know. Reddit's probably gonna blow up Christmas morning. We're all gonna be stuck in our
If it's
homes.
something big, yeah, I
We're
guarantee you.
we're gonna be on lockdown again, and everybody's gonna be like, we can't go anywhere. So like this is Christmas. We're just all excited about what Alabama Splash Adventure is doing. It is actually really cool. They posted this video, and they have a big present over top of what is theoretically the area that
Yeah.
this new ride is gonna go. In theory, a coaster. I don't know. Somebody said oh, there's a rumor that it's a Raptor clone, and that was pretty much immediately pulled out. Like, where's your source? Nobody could provide a source, so I
I
don't
do
know.
think it's
It
interesting that
could be.
they have a present wrapped and it's called Unwrap 2020 and Unwrap Christmas morning. I feel like that might be a bit of a pun for a Raptor. I'm not going to fully convey my opinion in that.
I mean, we know a bunch of Raptors were sold at IAAPA.
I mean, and this
what
is
I
exactly where that ride would fit. This is exactly where they wanted it to go at these kind of parks. And the footprint that they're highlighting in this image as well looks easily like it could fit a Raptor. It looks like it would just be a perfect fit for that section. That's what I would bet my money on, but I'm not going to fully convey that. That's my opinion. I'm not going to fully, I'm not going to put all my money in the middle there for that, but that would be where I would lean towards for sure.
I mean, can we just be hopeful and say it's a Hyper GTX? I mean,
yeah, we could. I think we'd be seeing a lot bigger of a box now if it was somewhat bigger of a box.
I don't. That's not necessarily true.
Raptors do not. They take up a lot less space than the likes of Lightning Run for sure.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Hyper GTX can be customized, so we don't really know what.
I mean,
what Chance and Joe Draves could cook up.
If they're trying to do something small, I could be, but again, I really feel like they're emphasizing this unwrap Christmas morning, Unwrap 2020. I just feel like that's what I'm leaning towards. So, I mean, but I'm not. I wouldn't be. I would be actually more excited, more happy if it was a GTX. So.
Yeah,
I can always hope for the best.
I mean,
it's Christmas miracle, maybe.
I have no reason. Yeah, I have no reason to think that it's a Chance Hyper GTX, but I really would love. We need more. We need more Hyper GTXs.
Oh boy, the next thing we're gonna see on social media, Bob said it was a Hyper GTX, man. What the heck? He
Well, yeah, but nobody actually listens to the whole story. They're like, "Oh, you
all I heard
said," I'm
was
like,
Bob saying Alabama Splash Adventure and Hyper GTX.
right, exactly. We don't know what the rest of the sentence was. That doesn't matter.
Not the
It's
hope
context.
or I don't have any
Mhm.
evidence, but I'm really strongly hoping. Yeah, none of that is just all right.
Context is overrated.
I think it's likely. I would say it's 75, at least in my view, 75% gonna be a Raptor. I just feel like that's what it's all. I think that's what all this is pointing towards. But of course, I still think there's a chance that it could be something else. So that's
See,
what seems to be going on at Alabama Splash Adventure.
here's what I like. I like that you're buying into the unwrap pun here, but you completely dismiss the whole mystery thing in the
Oh
premiere.
my gosh. Because that's such a abstract and like out of nowhere, pull out of thin air kind of thing. I mean, anytime
What do you do on Christmas? You unwrap presents. It's not pulled out of nowhere.
But why would they choose? Again, like we're saying, it's a weird idea to announce
is.
something Christmas. So they were probably thinking in their marketing meetings, they're sitting there like, how can we do something with Raptors? Oh, Christmas, you unwrap gifts. Wrap, unwrap, Raptor. Like that just like flows. Mystery could be like everyone always is like, oh, it's a mystery. What's going on? What's going on? Just because a ride's called Mystery Mine doesn't mean that that's what's going on. I mean, there's other rides that have the name Mystery in them. I just feel like that's a lot more coincidental than this. I feel like this is purposely done. I just think that the mystery thing was.
I don't know. I just think it's funny. I don't know. We don't know any. I mean, these last two things, James and I have no clue about. Let's just be clear about that.
Nope, it's a Raptor. I work for Alabama Splash Adventure. I can confidently say that that's what's happening.
I work for RMC, and I can say you're wrong.
I'm paying you, Bob. I'm paying you to build it. You better not say I'm wrong.
You
I already gave you $10 million for this thing, or probably actually less than that.
This is fact. All we have to do is say this is fact, and then create a second account to confirm myself.
You create Bob K. Mertz, and you put like I'm an employee for RMC, and then you create a Fred Grubb Instagram account, and you go, "Yep, he's totally my employee."
Fred K. Grubb.
Fred Craig Grubb. He's your dad. All right. So that is it for the attraction news segment part of the show. When we get back, we're going to talk about what rides we would love to operate, and we're also going to talk about what rides desperately need a repainting. We're going to talk about all that when we get back from this break.
Yay.
Oh, you're killing me, Bob.
What? You're killing me.
Oh, Bob.
Shut up, Timmy. I don't know what you said, but shut up.
He said, "Shut up."
What did he say? Anyway?
He said, "Oh, Bob."
Oh.
I don't even know what he said, but I know he's wrong. He said. All right. Let's try to make this like 30-ish minutes long. Is it? That should be enough for this. I don't know. I feel like there's much to this.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? 3.
I still actually wait. Hold up. I don't know what rides I want to operate.
5.
What rides do I want to operate, Bob?
I don't know.
Oh, I know one actually. I'm not even going to be talking about roller coasters that much, but there's a ride in particular that I want to operate really badly. I'm not going to tell you because then you're going to go, "Oh yeah, I want to operate that too," and then it's going to.
If you say the same thing that I'm thinking of,
I'm going to talk first, so it better not be.
Oh, damn it!
It probably is going to be. I don't know. It might be.
You know what? Before I'm actually going to write it down.
Yeah, just hold it.
So that I can just pull it up and say, "Look, here's." Man, all this crap on my desk, and I can't find a piece of scrap paper.
That would be okay.
Ah!
Ow! What the heck? That was an ear rape.
Sorry.
He just like yelled. All right, are you ready?
It's right in here.
That's the golden ticket. All right, you ready?
Let's see. Yep. 3, 2.
So first, coming back from this break, we're talking about what rides and attractions, roller coasters, flat rides, thrill rides, family rides, do we want to operate? Which ones, if we were given a position at the park, would we want to be the operator of? And me and Bob actually talked right before that we came back from the break, and we're thinking maybe we might have a very similar one here. So to start off, I'm gonna say mine, and I'll explain why as well. But I first want to see if we have the same one. I want to operate Cosmotron, Bob. Yeah, that's what he. That's it. That's what he wanted. That's what he wrote down. Yeah.
That's exactly what
I think we'd have a vastly different music selection in there, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But so actually, the other ride that I was thinking of was the Gravitron.
Mhm.
Much for the same reason.
Yeah,
But
lighting
would a Gravitron with the full sound and light package. You have to specify that because I went in a tent top one and I was like, what is this crap? I had to pay for that ride too. I was like, I can see daylight. What the hell is
So for
this?
those of you who don't know, though, just on the off chance you've never been to Knoebels, Cosmotron is an indoor like Music Express style ride that has
Himalaya. Is it Himalaya Drive now?
yes, I
I
think
think
so.
it used to be a Caterpillar.
Yeah.
I think it's a Himalaya now.
And it has the lighting, really awesome lighting, and it has music that blasts while you experience the ride. And it's fantastic. It's really, if you get a good song, it's fantastic. And it all depends on your personal preference in music, because I'm sure some people would love some of the music I got, and I just completely despised it.
Well, sometimes it just like some music just interacts better with lights.
That is true as
So
well.
that's
Exactly.
kind of a big part of it too. It's potential that you get a song that you don't really like, but it's still a really good show because it just interacts with the lights well. But that's the thing. If you ride it once and you go, that was not exciting at all, try it again because, every ride is different. Even though you still just go in circles.
I would honestly love to just blast "Dark Side of the Moon" by Pink Floyd in that show building. Just not even like the whole album. Just like stop every time a song ends, and then just like catch your breath, catch your, get your dizziness under control for a second there, and then restart the ride up into the next song, and it's just like, oh man, that would be so awesome, so epic. Oh man,
That's an interesting thing about that ride is it's like I get so mesmerized with the lights that I feel like I could go a lot longer without getting dizzy on that than if it was outside in the open.
and I've come to
I
realize
don't know that for sure.
I've come to realize me and actually Timmy we're at Busch Gardens Williamsburg actually. So it was Busch Gardens Williamsburg. We're riding the Music Express there, which is the trade wind. And we both looked at each other and we're like, based on our last ride on Cosmotron, it does not go nearly as fast as the trade wind was flying. It was like disorienting completely. And we were like, whoa, that we were getting thrown into each other a lot more aggressively. I don't think the Cosmotron goes as fast as others. So that might also, which it doesn't need to because it has that lighting and it has that music, so it doesn't
Right,
need
exactly.
to be like if it was that fast, it might lose its effect a bit.
Some of the spinny thing is like there's a lot of where you put your focus at. I know like the pendulum rides, outward facing, I can ride those all day and have no issues. You
Yeah,
put me on one ride on an inward facing one, I get to not feeling the best. I'm like, I can
agree.
ride. And the whole point is when you're facing inward, you have a habit of focusing on the person directly in front of you. And everything, all the background goes flying by. But if you don't have that focal point, your eyes kind of adjust to the flying background, and you don't have the same problem. And a lot of that has to do, like, if I ride the pendulums facing inward and I can force myself not to pay attention to the person in front of me, it's not a problem. It's just really hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little rabbit trail because we haven't been on many rabbit trails. I felt like
We've been good this episode.
The other thing
we're trying to prepare for Santa Claus. Get on his nice list.
right. The other rides that like I would love to operate is like a launch coaster that you control, something like Flight of Fear.
Oh yeah, I would love to operate Flight of Fear as well, but not only because it's awesome effects, and I would love to just do the fake countdown that they always do. 10,
right,
9,
exactly.
launch off. I love that every time.
You can have fun with that, and in some ways, like a lot of for me, it's a lot of like seeing people's reactions to things. So that's why, in some ways, I kind of think I might have more fun on a Gravitron than.
But if you
Cosmotron.
operated Flight of Fear, you wouldn't get to see the reactions, because.
Right, but I have fun with that. I have fun with the launch on that, but like some of the extreme stuff, I'd just like to see people's reactions. I think that could be a fun part about it.
I honestly as well would love to be staying in the Cedar Fair chain. I-305, Intimidator 305, King's Dominion. They've always. I feel like what happened with I-305 is originally we had what was it, Dale? That was the actual guy that operated it.
Yeah,
and he was such a great ride op. He was interacting with the clients and with the participants on the ride and saying, hey guys, get ready, get hyped, get excited. And then slowly it's just deteriorated to now it's just like boring teenagers that are like, all right, enjoy your ride. And I'm like, let's bring that spirit back. I would love to be a ride op for like something extreme, like just a Giga or a Strata or something like that, where it's like the big ride in the park. And you can get everyone excited and hyped up.
That's a coaster that it yanks you out of the station, so you get to watch people's like initial
that too.
That's why like Top Thrill Dragster doesn't mean much to me because they're launched further away from what I'm seeing. But like is it Accelerator launches right out of the station? Like the Intamin hydraulic launches that launch out of the station. Oh my god, I would love that. That would be a lot of fun.
But even like talking about, like I'm not even talking about how great like launch coasters are great, the Gigas are great, the Stratas are great. I just want to operate the ride at the park that the consensus is it's the scariest ride. Like if let's say I was at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I understand that a lot of people dislike the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I've heard that that's kind of not a great ride in terms of how it runs and everything. It's kind of rough. It's kind of painful. I'm not gonna concur. I'm not gonna say that's true, but just based on that interpretation, I would still have to operate it because that's the ride that everyone at the park's going, holy crap, this thing's huge. It's the biggest ride here. Like, not even the fact that it might not be a great ride, but that's just the ride that it doesn't have to be like Intimidator 305 I just chose because we were talking about Cedar Fair, but I just want to operate that big ride and be the operator that pumps people up. Right, come on, let's get excited. Let's go. This is the biggest ride here. Get hype. I would love to be that.
Yeah, for me, it's a combination of that along with seeing reactions of people. And
I love seeing reactions as well.
They're really scared. I know when I was when I went to Carowinds, I was in line for a Nighthawk. I was like one of the next trains, but somebody was freaking out. Like the train started reclining, and she's like, "No, I'm not ready. I don't know, no." And the ride operator's like, "Sorry about your luck, dispatch." And like, I love those interactions, the way like you do, like, and just seeing the way people respond like that, and then seeing, especially like because most of those people, whenever they get off, they're like exhilarated because it was so much fun. They loved it, and it just seeing that, I like being a part of that. I think it's a lot of fun.
Indeed, yeah. So, I mean, there's plenty of. I would love to operate a drop tower as well. That's one that I would love to be. The same reason, almost like Flight of Fear, you get to do that countdown. Normally, on some drop towers you don't, but on a lot of drop towers you have the speakers up at the top and 10, 9, 8, 7, drop. I love that. I just would love to be that kind of ride op. I mean, they get back. Come on, man! I wasn't ready for that. That kind of stuff. I love that. So, those kind of rides. Yeah. The launch coasters, the drop towers, and just the big rides at the parks would be so much fun. Yeah, there's other good. I'd love to operate RMCs.
Sky Coaster would actually be a fun ride to operate, I think.
Yeah, that would be.
Or one of the slingshot things, or like those types of rides.
This would be fun. Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I mean, we're enthusiasts. Nothing's going to be boring to operate. We're really, this question has no bounds. I would operate
I
Planet
mean,
Snoopy's. You know,
the airplane, no, like the airplanes and Camp Snoopy, like stuff like that. No, I could not deal with that. Like the little now, like operating like Woodstock Express. Yeah, that would be fun. I could get into that. But the little rides that just go around and do like nothing. Peanuts 500. No, no, I couldn't deal with that.
I wouldn't mind it at all. So I don't know. That's just I could do it. I don't know. I like working with children too. I like children have children have just a happiness and a joy that
Oh man,
no other.
I'm absolutely with you on that too. I just those like simple little rides just aren't. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't say it'd be a horrible job, but I would much rather work with like Woodstock Express or some of the like more fun, um, more interesting rides in like Planet Snoopy and stuff like that. The kids bumper cars, that would be a blast. I would love to do that. That would be
I
fun.
would just again for me this question has no bounds. Like I would operate anything at a park. I would work. I would be a janitor. I would be. I mean, I would work anywhere at a theme park. I just want to work at a theme park. That's just basically what it comes down to with this question. I would do anything. There are some ones in particular I would love to do, but I honestly just being at a theme park, just having a job, having a position at a park.
I actually had my dream job at a theme park too. I miss it.
Yeah, being old Mickey Mouse
I would
or
love
Buzz
to do that.
Lightyear. Sorry,
I was friends with Buzz Lightyear.
who are you
Buzz
again?
Lightyear's real. Buzz Lightyear.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, but you can't.
I was
You can't.
friends with
I
Buzz
forgot.
Lightyear.
Yeah, the Disney
Right.
magic. Yeah, you were friends with Buzz Lightyear. You were just
I was
inside
also
him
friends
for
with
a
an
while.
army man.
You were just inside him for a while.
No. uh, um. Yeah. That that was just a really fun job. Disney's
Yeah,
a great place
that
to
was really
work, and
fun.
I enjoyed that.
All right. Let's not revisit my maturity level again, right?
Right, and you're the one arguing that you want to go to Kennywood by yourself. I'm
Oh, because I
mature.
made a
I'm
joke.
mature than adults. I can
Oh,
handle Kennywood.
all right. So we talked about what rides we want to operate. Now we need to talk about what rides we want the parks to repaint. What rides need it drastically, and we got quite a few responses from the audience. The first one being Dominator at King's Dominion. They said, "Why is the loop not match the rest of the ride?" I think that's an actual reason. As I've seen multiple coasters. I mean, I know Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure also does that. So I don't know. I feel like B&M might actually do that for a purpose.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to like when it was at Geauga Lake. Like I feel like it just never got repainted. Like they repainted the other parts. I don't know
Doesn't
that for
that seem
sure.
weird to you to completely repaint an entire coaster and then just leave the vertical loop? Unless there's a reason. That just doesn't sit with me. Like, yeah, we're just gonna here's all this paint. I'm guaranteed they didn't run out of paint or they didn't get to it or the maintenance team just didn't want to do it. But that just seems like such an odd decision. And why two rides? Two of the similar. I mean, one was they both were uh, previously sit down coasters, and they both have that vertical loop as a different color. I just think that's a weird. I feel like that has
I've
to be somewhat
I
purposeful.
have always wondered that. I've absolutely always wondered that.
Great, you got us into
Um,
another rabbit trail now. Why does B&M leave for two of their coasters? Why they left the vertical loop just not touched?
I
And it's
don't
always
know.
like a
So
lighter shade too, I believe, because I think the Green Lantern is like a lighter green, and
see,
then
now I'm looking at a picture of Batman Night Flight, which is what Dominator was before it moved, and it is the yellow. The whole coaster is the yellow that the loop is. So
I don't know.
I mean
It
that's
just
the
seems so cool. It isn't. It seems like it would be more than a coincidence that two rides that are very similar would have. Actually,
The
with Green Lantern, what happened is actually I lied. It's not the vertical loop, or actually one of the vertical loops, and then actually one of the vertical loops and a corkscrew are yellow as well. And so it's green track and then it's yellow track.
Green Lantern moved too, right?
That was Chang at Kentucky Kingdom, yeah.
Right. So what? I wonder if there's a reason why, like during transportation they paint them, but for some reason they can't paint those. I don't. It doesn't. Maybe you know what it might have. This is pure speculation, but if they paint the pieces as they transport them, maybe it's has to do with the way the track is supported on the truck. So like if you paint it like the loop, the whole first top half of the loop, there's no actual support structure because the loop actually supports itself. So if you're going on the truck, like once you paint something, maybe you can like tie it to like you mount it to the truck using the actual support so that you're not affecting the paint. But when it comes to the loop, the way the structure is, maybe it just has something to do with like whenever they put it on the truck, they're worried about it damaging.
But you can paint a ride once it's up as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, theory being that these rides got painted when they moved. Because
yeah, but why wouldn't it be all right? We'll move it if we can't do it when we move it. Then let's do it when it gets to the park.
Well, then that costs more money to paint. You have to have Bainham Painting come in and scale everything, and
it's just one element though. Like do the rest like normal, and then just do that one element.
Yeah, but then I mean they still have to bring their equipment in. So,
but it's been like if it has been like a year and they're just like waiting out. But this has been like they just left it like it's just normal. And I think even Green Lantern has like I think they have like a structure that you actually go underneath, and it's actually yellow as well. So they put some theming to do with the loop. Like I think they had like a yellow figurine that you actually went under as you go through the vertical loop. So they understand that it's yellow. They didn't like forget about it, or they were like, yeah, screw it, we're not gonna. It's like and now like there's actual theming there. It just seems like I don't know. All right, well that's a bit of a rabbit hole.
All I know is the yellow that the loop is on Dominator is the color that it was at Jug Lake, based on all of the pictures that I've looked at. They're all that yellow.
And then what was it that yellow when it was Batman as well?
That's what I'm talking about when it was Batman and Night Flight. I don't know about Dominator. I mean, Dominator at Six Flags Ohio. Like at that point, I don't know if, or no, it would wait. See, when it became Jug Lake again, it became Dominator. I don't how they wouldn't have painted. I doubt they would have painted it. Probably, I can almost guarantee you it was painted whenever they moved it to King's Dominion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's all speculation because I have no idea, and I've asked people, and nobody seems to know why. Yeah,
when I work for King's Dominion, I'll ask. I'll ask around.
It's like dying to know.
All right, so someone said Griffin.
Why did you on Volcano, and why didn't you paint the loop on Dominator?
Someone said Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg definitely needs a repaint. I think it's starting to fade. Yeah, I think it's starting to fade some. So I can agree with that.
I don't know. It kind of has a washed out color in itself, so maybe that's why it's not real noticeable. I don't know. I never really pay much attention to Griffin though. So
someone said Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure, which that's definitely desperately in need of a paint job. It's pretty faded. Even if they just did the supports are like a pink or like, and they like are so faded, it just doesn't even, it looks like pastel almost. It's like very, very light now. It really needs to pop because it's supposed to be like a popping, vibrant color. Like Nitro, big, awesome, look at us. And it's like, it's very, very faded. All right, someone said Kraken at Busch Gardens, or no, SeaWorld Orlando, excuse me. They said it could use a fresh coat because there's quite a bit of rust on the rails. That's fair.
That's theming.
That's theming. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe they just duped us this whole time. It's all part of their scheme. Hey, interesting
Exactly.
enough, somebody said I went Saturday to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and honestly, I think Griffin needs a repaint. Skyrush wouldn't hurt either. Yeah, Skyrush is starting to fade some, for sure. I noticed
I
that
don't
on my
think it's
last
that
trip. It's not that bad, but it's definitely noticeable at this point. It's starting to fade. It's nothing like Nitro or anything, or even Griffin. I don't think, but
I mean, that's some of the sometimes when you pick certain colors, like I think yellow is one of those colors that like even when it's faded, it doesn't really look bad. It just
mm-hmm,
looks like a different shade of yellow.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you can tell if you really pay attention, but it's not like green and purple like Joker's Jinx was. Like you knew it needed it needed
I
paint really bad.
I think many enthusiasts would retort that with Georgia Scorcher. that was yellow, and
Um,
that was awful.
well, yeah, I can't picture. I mean, I haven't been there since the '90s, so
It was pretty
I
bad. It was like really really light, and there was even paint starting to peel, which that's
well,
why many
see,
people. I know that's not exactly what I'm
that's
saying though, but it was also fading really badly even before the paint started peeling off. I don't know. So someone said Mamba at Worlds of Fun, which I haven't yet to ride, but I mean I don't think I know Steel Force, and I know Steel Force isn't that bad, so I don't know. I think they're
no.
built around the same time, so possibly Dorney just gave it a repaint later on, past when it opened, or later on, past when Mamba got one, and Mamba's just catching up, kind of. But I know Steel Force looked
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. I don't know. I can't. Oh, I've never actually been to Worlds of Fun, but like as far as Steel Force, like I can't really think. Like it doesn't really um seem bad.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I don't know. We'll have to go to Worlds of Fun and do some research and do some checking in.
Yeah, I do want to get there. I mean, I I'm one of the I would travel to ride a Morgan Hyper. I really like Morgan's coasters.
You gotta get to SeaWorld San Antonio then, Bob. Get on Steel Eel.
Yes, yes.
That
And
is that
that's
is
a
so good.
beautiful paint job on that one.
Yeah, that
Steel Eel has a beautiful paint.
that does indeed. Okay, someone said Medusa at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I definitely think that's fair because I think I remember even watching a POV or watching a video of that and going, yeah, that looks like it's fading. Not even because of this topic, but I mean, it was just a while ago.
I think
So,
everybody's just picking parks that I haven't been to. They're just trying to
just to toy with you.
exactly. I think that's what's going on here.
It's all a conspiracy.
Reminding me of all these places I need to go.
Batman at Six Flags St. Louis. Super rusty looking rails, but not
That's
Nemesis
theming. That's
style.
Six Flags theming.
Yeah, that's just the typical Six Flags theming there. So next, Colossus at Thorpe Park needs a repainting. Excuse me.
Been there. Seriously, can we get a park that I've been to?
Ride of Steel at Darien Lake and Mind Eraser at Darien Lake.
Okay,
There you go.
it's been a while since I've been there, so I can't really comment on the paint. So, but I imagine it's probably true.
I mean, Superman at America needs a repaint as well, so I can for sure see.
Yes, that could yeah. And the way Six Flags America is going, like we might actually see that. It seems like they're starting to really kind of focus on
Aesthetics of their
the
park, yeah.
the TLC type stuff.
hmm All right, and lastly, we got Mr. Rafi's Reverse Blast at Six Flags Over Texas, and I have seen videos of that, and
Another one that I've been
that's
to.
pretty faded. So, yep, that is our audience's responses to this week's weekly poll, which is coasters that needed a repaint. Bob, do you have any coaster in particular in your mind that needs a repaint?
Yes, Phantom's Revenge.
Yeah.
That's that's actually I think an example of a coaster that is really like it's a color scheme that doesn't really show up that much like when it fades, except it's way beyond the point. Like it really needs a paint job. I mean, it's just really faded now. So I would really like to see that. But I would completely forego that if you would bring back Kangaroo, Kennywood. You can use the Rust theming on Phantom's Revenge if you bring back Kangaroo, at least for a while. Don't let it do damage, but
Yeah, and I honestly, for the life of me, could not really think of one. So I'm just going to kind of agree with an audience member here. Griffin, I think, is in need of one pretty badly, especially now with a polished chariot having that paint job in the backdrop. You can kind of see a polished chariot if you're on the ride, and then you look at Griffin and you're like, this is a little. It's not popping like it used to. It used to be like the ride that popped in the Skyline, and now Apollo's is actually that. So, Alpengeist is that white. White doesn't really fade at all. I mean,
did they finish Apollo's repaint?
They did.
Okay.
So yeah, it pops pretty greatly now, and now it's like Griffin is almost not an eyesore, but it's just not. It's not popping like it once did. So, I do agree with that. So I can't think of other one off the top of my head that I really think needs a repaint that I'm not mentioning here. I'll probably think of it. I'll probably be logging off of the show tonight, and I'll be like, oh crap, this ride really needed it. Yep. But
that's what happens to me.
Alas,
like almost a week.
Alas, I do not remember it now. So that concludes our show this week, guys. And shockingly enough, we're not having a weekly poll this week. I know we're breaking the long chain. I don't think we've ever done an episode where there's been no weekly poll.
No, probably not. So breaking new ground here. It's 2020 though. I mean, we can do whatever the hell we want.
There's an explanation though, guys. We're not going to be doing an episode next week due to the holidays and due to the fact that episode 100 is coming around the corner, and we were going to have a big surprise for you guys, and we couldn't do it during the holiday week. So we're just going to skip that week, go to the next week, and we're going to do the show then. We're not going to do a live look either. So if you plan on watching us, like we do every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, if you plan on watching us, we will not be doing that in 2 weeks either. So it'll be quite a while until we do another live look.
So we're looking at what December 10th, I believe, will be our next live look.
It's almost a month. Yeah. Almost a month from the recording of the show.
It'll be 2 weeks. That's half a month.
Half a month.
I don't know how many weeks are in your months, but
re-advise what I just said. 2 weeks.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, from this Thursday, it's the 19th, then the 26th, then the 3rd, then the 10th. That's 4 weeks.
It's 3.
3 weeks. All right. Well, it's not 2 weeks. There you go. It's 3. Well, so we're in the middle there. 4 and 2 divided by the 6, then divided by 2.
Yeah,
it's 3.
Yeah, it'll be 3.
All right. I was like, wait a second. It's not going to be 2 weeks.
That was some of the crowd thing. Here.
In 2 weeks, we'd be doing episode 100. So I was like, wait a second.
Right.
All right. So completely.
We're skipping 2 weeks is what I was thinking. But
stay with us, guys. Stay with us. We're
math is hard, man. Math is just really, really hard.
Our true dedicated fans understand our struggle. They understand that. Oh man. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode. Normally we would close out by saying, go to the website and answer the poll, but we're not doing a weekly poll again. So
yeah, so we can say, don't go answer.
Don't go to coastertalkpodcast.com/poll this week, guys. Do not do it.
Just go to coastertalkpodcast.com.
Yeah, just go to coastertalkpodcast.com. Listen to some old episodes. Get your way through. I know we won't be here for a while, so if you need some coping, there's some past episodes that you can listen to for sure on the archive there. All right, so follow us on social media, though, of course, at coastertalk_pod or Bob's Coaster Talk account at Coaster Talk Bob. That's where we'll still be on social media, of course, for the next couple weeks there. If you need to talk or you want to hear our analysis and speculation, we'll talk about what's going on in the industry, especially if something big happens and we don't have a show for a while. We'll talk a little bit about it on the social media, of course. Facebook at Coaster Talk Pod, Instagram at Coaster Talk Pod. The YouTube channel is Coaster Talk Podcast. Look that up on YouTube and you'll find analysis, speculation, reviews, all the great stuff that we do on the show, but just on the YouTube channel as well. And then also like park walkthroughs and footage, and of course. And then if you want to contact us with any comments, questions, or concerns, or if you want to even leave an audio file with the show, any parks that you visit and you want to discuss, or if you have a question or something that you feel needs to be expressed in audio form, you can do so by, again, going to coachtalkpodcast.com/contact. Email either me or Bob at james@coachtalkpodcast.com or bob at coachtalkpodcast.com as well if you have any personal questions or discussion that you want to foray with us. All right, so thank you guys all so much for listening to this week's episode of the show. We'll see you guys all for episode 100. We'll see you guys then. I thought you were going to say something.
I did. I said Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh.
You ignored me.
I didn't ignore you. I didn't ignore you. I can't hear you when I'm talking over. You're killing me. Technically, this is season 4 starting up soon too, but I'm not gonna. We don't really do seasons anymore.
Seasons. That's dumb for a podcast, I think.
I did seasons for a while, but I didn't really tell anybody I was doing seasons. So I had seasons like listed on the show, but I don't think anybody actually knows that there were ever seasons. Like technically, this is season 3 right now, but I'm just gonna kind of fade that out. There's no seasons. I agree. I don't really think seasons are necessary. Yeah, all right, guys, on the live stream, we're gonna head out. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, 3 weeks, man. It's gonna be a while.
Merry Christmas.
No.
Happy Hanukkah.
Better not be that long.
Happy New Year's. Happy Easter. See you guys.
See you guys.